I'll bump my chin on there. Try this one on the end.
Get a phone book.
There we go.
There's one down here.
Thank you. I think so.
You know them.
Well, I turned mine off. I turned the volume down. I'm never really 100% sure it's on. I know. I keep it closer to the phone.
Actually was in my house when I get to Harrison.
I was gone most of the day, but my dogs were here. He handles it okay while I'm gone.
It's great. Well, you're not going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got, he seems to be selling himself, but he's running out. Okay. And he's going
So, does cast? So that's why you have one from yeah, okay. Well, you know, at least it didn't happen during the meeting. I was doing it at the time, we did not know to do it.
I should go on.
Yeah.
I'm not that far.
Wait, so your tractor, we're all amazing that.
Hello, David.
You're watching this. You ready? Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would entertain a motion.
I move we
approve the agenda for July 14th, 2026 meeting.
Support.
As presented. Yep.
Motion by Brandt, seconded by Hardwick to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the June 9th, 2026 budget hearing and board meeting, financial report and payment of the bills and payroll.
Support.
Motion by Ivory, seconded by Brandt to approve the consent agenda, which includes minutes of the June 9th, 2026 budget hearing and board meeting, financial report, and payment of bills and payroll. Okay, roll call, please.
Brandt.
Yes.
Hardwick.
Yes.
Ivory, yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes. Motion carried. That brings us to the treasurer's report.
So should have received your tax bill by now. Those went out on June 30th, and those are due on September 15th. So come on in or mail them in and pay those. So we're just handling tax payments right now, and it's about all that's happening at the treasurer's office.
Very good. Clerk's report.
We're working on the election, of course, that's top priority right now. Election's August 4th, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. But we also, because it's on the even year, we have early voting, and that starts July 25th, and it runs through August 2nd, so it ends on a Sunday. Monday, we will be open, but we're not doing early voting that day. We'll have absent voter ballots available for you if you want to vote absentee on that Monday. We'll be open 10 to 4 on that Monday, and then of course on election day. The hours for early voting for Hadley are going to be 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We all get to choose our hours. That's just what our hours are, so don't look at someone else's and think, oh, it's 9 to 5 or whatever. It's 8:30 to 4:30. Another thing going on is we did win or get the scrap tire grant. And so we've scheduled that for September 19th. I believe it's 9 to noon, but we'll drill down on that for sure. And during that tire grant, we're going to have also electronic recycling. We got together with the same people we used a few years back. It first was free, then they upped their prices, but it was still affordable. I think about $500 they said they charged us to do electronic recycling. So if you have computers, laptops, just take the hard drives out of there, except the memory hard drives, and then take them in and you can get rid of those. And then the last thing is a big dumpster is what we're thinking, right? Lisa's kind of worked on that to get that going around. So those three things we'd like to have over at Marston Park on the 19th. And then, I just, to cover the ballots, absentee voter ballots, we sent out 919 absent voter ballots so far, and we received back 193. I think actually 2 more came in, so maybe 195. We got all their equipment tested yesterday. Everything worked really well, and that's about it. So,
Thank you.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
No.
Do you know roughly how many registered voters we have in Hadley Township?
Yeah, it's about 30. At least City was always good at remember these numbers, but it's about 3,500, I think, something like that.
And on to the supervisor's report. I'd really like to thank everybody who worked so hard to make our town beautiful for the 4th of July. As usual, we really knocked it out of the park, I think. And, none of this is possible without lots of volunteers working lots of hours to make all the magic happen. And I love the way that our community comes together every year to pull this off. So thank you to all those people. And as far as Lapeer County EMS, went to that meeting. And for the month of May, they had 25 runs into Hadley Township, which brings the total runs for the year to 117. That's by the end of May. And then countywide, during the same time frame, Lapeer County EMS responded to a total of 3,996 runs. So, for those who don't know, we're part owners in the ambulance. And then also we ordered new AEDs for the township, and we ordered them through the through LCEMS. They worked out some deal where they're half price, and so those came in today. So we have new AEDs for the township for this building, the town hall, and the mill. And I think we also got some for the fire department too. So they have those. And then these play nice with the fancy cardiac monitors that the ambulance have. So when they show up, they don't have to change pads or do anything. It's all interchangeable. So that's it. Road report.
Not a lot to report on the roads. Edwards Tree Service are cutting the canopy on Farmers Creek Road now. They're about 3/4 done. Then they'll go to Herd Road. And then I traveled gravel roads today, and the gravel roads in general are all pretty in good shape. The only problem we have is when we get our dust control, it didn't last long. There's some of these roads that are still dusty, and there's a few bumps, but that's going to come in gravel roads. So I think that's about all I have right now.
Thank you. And Planning Commission report.
Planning Commission, we had our meeting on June 16th. We went over data center and shipping container ordinance update. We are going with Caitlin. I think it's Human or Hubin from Wade Trim. She's our consultant. She's very good at what she does. She's helping us get these written down and then bring it before the board. See how we like it, and we'll go from there. Special land use letters, we tabled that for the moment. We're busy with other things. There were 2 ZBA hearings in July. That's pretty much it. Ann, did I miss anything?
No.
Ron? Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you. Oh, hang on. Ann?
Thumbs up.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Thank you.
All right, looks like our county commissioner is not here this evening, so we'll move along to fire department time.
Since last meeting, we've had 17 runs. Of those, 12 medicals, 5 fires. Of the 5 fires, we had a burn complaint, dumpster fire, an iPhone crash activation, which was a false alarm. Tree stump fire, and electrical fire. That's about all we have, other than crossing our fingers for millage.
Very good, thank you, Chief.
Oh, we getting the word out on that so people understand?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't really had any negative feedback on it, but
haven't
it's
either.
what it is. I mean,
Gotta have it.
yep, tried to state our case, so probably do it again here in the next week. Probably regurgitate what I've already put out, so.
Sounds good.
Very good. That brings us right along to public comment time, where each speaker has 3 minutes. And yes.
Hi, I'm here, of course, because almost 2 months ago I had a meeting with you in your office, Jason, and I brought to attention some zoning ordinances that were not working out with the neighbor. Our neighbor had a farm stand in her front yard, which was against the zoning ordinance, which Jason informed me that that was against the zoning ordinance. Also, they had vehicles that are not plated or insured, and he looked up all of the ordinances. Those 2 were against the ordinances. He told me that they have to have parking to have a farm stand or any kind of business. Are living in a residential area. We do not want the farm stand on our tiny little street. We do not want things for sale. I went to Jason formally. He told me that they were going against the ordinances. He promised me, he told me that he was going to handle it as the supervisor and have them remove their farm stand and remove their illegal vehicles. And when I left the office, instead of doing his job, he went on Facebook and got a survey with a bunch of keyboard warriors has completely upset our neighborhood, made everybody dislike each other. Thank you very much for opening a beehive. And he has promised the neighbors that he's gonna get it changed for them. Although he might not say that in front of anyone else. I have friends who are on Facebook and have talked to the neighbor, and she has reassured them that she doesn't have to take her stuff down that she has for sale in the front yard, which she still has, even though I'd already made it clear with Jason, and he told me he was going to take care of it. They got rid of one of their vehicles to make it look like they're doing something, and she still has all kinds of stuff for sale in her front yard. We don't want customer traffic in our yards and on our little street. We pay for residential living. We would like to continue residential living. And just because I said that I do enjoy the chickens, I never said I love them. I said I adore them. So what you had printed here is inaccurate. I'm at the point of wondering, what do I have to do to get the township supervisor to actually do his job? He is refusing to do it, and it is a vindictive narcissism because he has a chip on his shoulder against me because I was not nice to him when he put my life in jeopardy with his drone. I want to know what to do. I mean, do we have to, can he be impeached? What's the deal? Why is he not doing his job? I should have called the police on you when you put my life in danger.
Your time is up.
I should have called the police on you. I wish I did.
Anyone else? Go ahead, sir.
We give all these board reports. Everybody gives a board report. Bob gives one, Rick gives one, you give. How about a maintenance report? I think probably there's, was there 2 or 4 maintenance people, and one said it's in charge down to the mill and one's up here, I understand. Could we get each one of those guys out of each, well, I'll say department, to give us a maintenance report, what they're doing, what's going on?
That is a very interesting idea. I'll be happy to address that during board member comments. Anybody else?
I got one more.
Oh, sure.
How you doing on the trails to the park? Like you campaigned for, making a bike trail out to the park? A state park.
Also a great question. I'll address that at board member comment time. Any more? Yes.
Hi there, my name is Susan Huff. I live in Metamora Township, and this is an amazing turnout. I go to a lot of township meetings, and you don't get this kind of participation. I brought some of these for your residents. I didn't bring enough because I didn't expect to see this many people, so if any of them want one, they can see me after the meeting, and I'll take their email address and send it to them. I'm here to ask your community to support the senior citizen millage on the August 4th ballot. Some statistics for you, for those of you who did not get this flyer. In 2020-25, our Lapeer seniors received 89,309 home delivered meals, 7,208 in-home services, personal care, light housekeeping, errands, etc. were performed, 508 jobs completed by chore services, 2,278 hours of respite care, which is giving full-time caregivers a break of 2 to 4 hours so that they can read a book, run errands, etc. 5,625 congregate meals at the Lapeer and Emily City Senior Centers, 604 round-trip rides for medical care and appointments, and the senior centers in Lapeer and Emily City that offer congregate meals, activities, classes, and free legal services. The ballot issue, most of you know, is a renewal and an increase. The current ballot, the current millage rate is about 0.38 mills with the Hadley rollback. It was authorized up to 0.39. but it's at 0.38. The increase, if fulfilled all the way to the limit, which it may or may not be depending on Hadley, would take it to 0.4573. If you have an average Lapeer home with a value of about $100,000, that's $45.73 a year for you. I've heard it told that it's a 16% increase. Well, that's true, but 16% of zero, as we know, is nothing. A 16% increase on 0.38 is 58 cents a month increase. And that increase is needed because we all go to the grocery store, we all buy gas, we know what has happened to those prices, and serving that many meals, food certainly is an issue. What some people were surprised to learn today at the senior center was that if this millage is defeated, the senior program will be shuttered. 69% of the senior program funding comes from our county millage. 30% comes from VAAA, the Valley Area Agency on Aging, which serves Shiawassee, Lapeer, and Genesee counties as the grant distributor for federal and state grants. 1% comes from donations. So for example, at the congregate meal today, people could put $1 in a box to help cover the cost of some of the food if they were able to, but they're not required to. One of the people today said, if this millage fails, what is going to happen to people like me? And I just want to show you my dad, my dear dad, on his 102nd birthday with a caregiver from the
Thank
services.
you for your comments. But here.
Thank you. I'll finish later if I may.
Anybody else? Yes.
I read that the draft of the ordinance, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. The ordinance seems to be permission with rules for an applicant to follow, but the problem that I saw was it gives no choice to the people to say no for whatever reason that they do not want land zoned for this kind of commercial activity, that is data centers. The reasons why they might not want that can be related to protection of life, liberty, property, and or the pursuit of happiness. Another ordinance I read, I think I told you all about this one. It was actually in Illinois, but it's similar to what we could do. I picked out 2 protections. One for the people to have convenient access to unredacted documentation pertaining to a proposed data center. That could include stuff like the CIS, contracts, all correspondence between the board and applicant, any non-disclosure agreements. These things would be available to the people on the website at least 60 days, whatever the people want, before the second protection, which is a special election. Article 1, Section 1 of Michigan Constitution says, all political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for their equal benefit, security, and protection. Political power involves the right of making laws. That power comes from the people to our reps, though as good stewards of our own Constitution, we can step in as necessary to instruct our reps as to what is for our benefit and what will secure our happiness and safety and protect our right to acquire and possess property. And our servant representatives are oath-bound to be accountable to any lawful instruction that the people might give. The people's right to instruct is in Article 1, Section 3, and it's not a small thing, or it wouldn't be in our declaration. It's what I'm doing now, and it's just anything when people come here and talk to you, that is their right to talk to you, to have the time to talk to you, to get out what they need to say, what they think you need to know. The problem with many townships is they listen to their lawyers who read statutes versus the constitutions, which are the fundamental law. If a lawyer tells our board, you cannot do as the people desire as far as at least those 2 protections, the board is taking instruction from someone the Constitution does not give you authority to take instruction from. If lawyers cannot show you in the Constitution what prevents you from either making a lawful ordinance or resolution according to the will of the people, and you listen to him, that would be what is called an unofficial act. That's an act that the Constitution does not support. That Constitution being your contract with us. There is a witness of history that shows townships took care of their own zoning early on. Before 1943, and I can be corrected by planning commission people and zoning people. Before 1943, there were no statewide zoning laws or act for townships. Before 1931, townships managed planning through various local zoning acts, and regulations that were not consolidated under a single statute. Another witness, so you're not gonna, you don't care about Article 1, Section 3 and the people instructing you?
I'm not saying no.
It's just a few more sentences, actually. Just a few more
There's
sentences?
another public time.
All right.
Maybe you can finish.
Anyone else? Alright. Old business. I don't think we have anything there, so we'll go to new business and on to road commission agreement for Schiffman Road culvert replacement.
Now, every so often, we have a culvert that breaks or busts out, and it blocks the water, and this is an 18-inch culvert. It blocks, it's blocking water right now, so we need to replace that. So I make a motion to approve the bid from the Lapeer County Road Commission to remove and replace a failed culvert on Schiffman Road for the amount not to exceed $6,500.
Or
Motion by Brandt, seconded by Hartley to approve the bid from Lapeer County Road Commission to remove and replace a failed culvert on Schiffman Road for an amount not to exceed $6,500. Roll call, please.
Brandt,
Yes.
Hartwig,
yes.
Ivory, yes, Schultz,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
And item B, public safety revenue sharing. So through some grant program the township received, or is going to receive, I think we actually already got it.
We already have it.
$2,365, and then those funds need to be allocated, as I understand it, to two different things. The bulk of the money, 75% I believe, has to go to law enforcement. And then the other 25% we can use them towards emergency services. And that works out to approximately, is it $600?
$591.
Thank you, $591. And the director of Lapeer County EMS reached out to each of the townships that received these funds and asked if we would be willing to send that $591 to the ambulance, and they want to use it to buy new cardiac monitors. They currently have 13 cardiac monitor defibrillators, and 8 of them have reached or exceeded their recommended service life, and they require a replacement. They're very expensive. I think they're about, actually I'm not sure, but I think they're at least $30,000 a piece, so it's a lot of money. And they're just, they'll pay for those. They just wanted to see if the municipalities like Hadley would send our money there. And we have only 2 choices. We can send it there or to the fire department, our own fire department. And again, we're part owners of Lapeer County EMS, so we own 1/14 of them, I believe. So that's my motion.
Kurt, it was brought to your attention about the money, and you said to go ahead and give it to him. Thank you.
Do you know if the other townships are doing this?
I didn't actually. I don't know. I was getting there, but I didn't. You know what? I did not reach out to the other townships to see if they are, going to do this with their funds or not. I don't actually know the answer.
I did hear from Metamora, from the clerk there. She was questioning whether or not we were doing it, and I think they intended to do it as well. And I think she had reached out to Dryden, and they were looking into it as well.
They have a police department, right? Amen.
They do, but this quarter would be for.
Oh, yeah. I think the 75% goes to law enforcement, and the 25% I think has to go to other emergency services.
I had it all the way around.
Yeah.
And we don't have a police department, so we have to also disperse our funds.
We haven't really been given very much instruction from the state or MTA about what to do with our other 3 quarters, but I expect we'll hear something, so.
That'll probably be on next month's agenda. But I would like to make a motion to disperse $591 from the public safety revenue sharing payment to Lapeer County EMS for the purchase of cardiac monitors.
I'll second that.
Motion by Harrison, seconded by Schultz, to disperse $591 from the public safety revenue sharing payment to Lapeer County EMS for the purchase of cardiac monitors. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Hartwig,
Yes.
Ivory, yes. Schultz,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes, motion carries.
What's the time limit? Is there a time limit gotta be used for that other? Can't possibly be before next
You know, it's very,
vague, isn't
it is kind of vague, and there's no reporting, there's no, you know, nobody is asking what you do with the money.
it?
They're
Tax
just,
dollars, isn't it?
they're just saying, here's this money. The legislature authorized it, just for 2026. Not sure if that's gonna happen going forward in the, you know, just says one-time funding. And then we're
Okay, let's
supposed
see
to
where
do
it
something
goes.
with it, yeah.
Very good. That brings us to our next public comment time. Oh, yes,
I
I'm sorry.
recommend we find out if we can send that 75% Metamora Metamora PD, because they assist an incredible amount here in the township. They respond to every incident where, sheriff's department's not in the area or MSP. They respond to a lot of stuff here.
That's an excellent
And
idea.
it's
That's good.
just my 2 cents only, but they help out a lot on this township.
They do.
Yeah,
Good,
medicals,
good
all kinds
idea.
of stuff, so.
Good idea.
I'd rather see them get it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see sheriff's department get it too, but they're much better funded than, obviously, than Metamora PD, so just my 2 cents.
That's a great idea. All right, public comment time. Yes, ma'am.
If I may finish, Susan Huff, Metamora Township. A lot of the conversation I've noticed on Facebook has been centered around the DDA capture from the senior citizen millage. So I want to explain that to everybody here. It is state law that downtown development authorities, DDAs, can capture from millages. You can't capture because you don't have a DDA, but any community that does can capture. For this millage, only the city of Lapeer and Elmont have chosen to capture. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean they get the millage money. That means they get a little itsy teeny weeny bit of it. So this millage is estimated to bring in $1.9 million per year. I called today and spoke with Jim Alt, the DDA director. And interestingly enough, for all of the conversations that have been going on about this topic, he said I was the first person who has called to talk to him about the DDA capture. So please don't believe everything you read on Facebook. A lot of those people don't really have accurate information. The DDA capture, he cannot give you an exact percentage or an exact number of dollars and cents because it's based on the actual assessments that will occur at the time of capture. All of that is calculated by our county officials, not by the DDA, not by the senior programs director. The only areas whose taxes are captured are those where the DDA actually is. So your senior millage dollars are not going to the Lapeer DDA. They are not going to the Elmont DDA. Only the area of Main Street, Lapeer, a very defined area by law. They have the boundaries, I don't. Only taxes within that area can be captured, and it will total somewhere around $3,000 or $4,000 a year. The same is true for Elmont. I like to say, don't bite your nose to spite your face. We are serving a lot of needy seniors in our communities. We don't see it because our folks who are servicing them are driving their own vehicles. They are wearing their own clothes. It's not like a fire truck going down the street or a police car going down the street, but they're out there every day. For $6,000, possibly $8,000 a year out of $1.9 million, do we want to deny services to those people? I don't think so. I am the Lapeer Senior Advisory Board's appointee to the VAAA Advisory Council. That's why I'm involved in this. I am also a member of the Ballot Question Committee, support our seniors Lapeer County. We do have a Facebook page if anyone wants to check that out. We have filed all of the proper paperwork, And we have all of our donors turned in with our filings on July 19th. So anyone who wants to see who has donated to us will be able to check that out in the county clerk's office. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes. You look at me. Okay. I just wanted to complete what I was saying. The witness of history that shows that the township took care of their own zoning early on demonstrates that the people do have the power to regulate the property within their own township, within their own boundaries. Also, another witness is the Constitution, Article 729. Let me turn to that for you. The last part says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, the right of all counties, townships, cities, and villages to the reasonable control of their highways, streets, alleys, and public places is hereby reserved to such local units of government. I think that this clause just shows that the people do have the right to control their public places. And there's another section that says the provisions of this Constitution and law concerning counties, townships, cities, and villages shall be liberally construed in their favor. Powers granted to counties and townships by this Constitution and by law shall include those fairly implied and not prohibited by this Constitution. Also, Article 1 says even more, and I know that it's a lot for people to take in, but all political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for our equal benefit, security, and protection. And those are big words, and we just need to remember them. And also Section 3, the people have the right peaceably to assemble, to consult for the common good. If we're consulting for the common good, we're talking about what we want in our township. To instruct their representatives, we're telling them what we want. And of course, anytime we tell them something that is lawful, they are responsible, you are responsible, if it's lawful, to be amenable to what we say. That's what the Constitution says. I hope I'm not talking like a mother. Okay, so also, the people can get an ordinance or a resolution that will truly protect and benefit them. We can. That's what government is supposed to do. To say we can do nothing or we can't stop it, that is a failure to the people. The people can and we will give you lawful notice to support you in an official act according to the Constitution, whether or not you are told to fear by lawyers, because that is a real thing. I understand that. Because you choose not to constrain yourself to a statute, that's why they would be telling you that you have to fear, this is what it says, you got to do this, when the people are telling you, this is what you got to follow. And it is the Constitution you got to follow. So constitutions come before any other rule, regulation, or act. Be sure that your lawyer can tell you from the Constitution why you can't give us what we want. When we ask for protections like a vote on something like a data center, or all of this information that we can get so we can make the proper decision. We don't want anything hid from us. We want to know it all. So that's it.
Anyone else?
Renee Curtis, Ritchie Road. This is a cover letter from our King & King attorneys or CPAs that does our annual audit every year. And this is a cover letter that went with our 2024 audit that was filed with the state. On this, there's a warning, and this paragraph has been on the warning of the cover letter for the last 5 years from King & King attorneys to this board. In it, it says there's a dereliction of segregation of duties. This is the situation with Township of Hadley. Due to a limited staff size, the municipality has a lack of segregation of duties because various conflicting duties are performed by an insufficient number of individuals. We recommend the Township of Hadley segregate duties whenever possible. I take that, and I've read it on all five covers, that you guys are allowing one person, and I'm gonna call you out, Lisa, to have projects, do the research on the project, get the bids for the project, and then manage the projects, and so on. And then they don't turn out the way that they're supposed to. I've seen it happen numerous times in the last 3 years. One in particular is a slide that just went in at Hartwood Park. You guys made a motion from Lisa. She looked up the slide to put it in, and so on September 9th, you guys voted she gave you the packet with the picture of the slide. The slide was $7,730.80. Fast forward 1 month to October 14th, 2025. Oops, forgot the steps. Need an additional improvement for $490. Now the slide is costing $8,220.80. Fast forward again to April 14th, 2026. Surprise, the installation, because the homework wasn't done prior to agreeing to the slide in the first place, the installation is costing $18,825. You guys approved it. The slide cost is now up to $27,045.80. That does not include any overcosts, because I heard it was a total cluster, that it's all screwed up and totally misengineered. Has there been more money put on this above and beyond the $27,045.80 that you already approved? Not to mention, there was an additional $3,950 for a tree stump that had to be removed over there, tree stump and a tree stump. So now that improvement is up to $30,995.80 by one person having a project. And this is just one.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Moving along to board member comments. And we can volunteer to go first.
Sure, I'll go first. I have printed off kind of cost of playground equipment. It's not cheap. I mean, obviously. And it's not the only project we've done with playground equipment that was expensive. It's just how much they cost. So I just kind of took the liberty, if you don't mind, to pass those down. And print out projects we did with Marston Park. And also, no, it was actually 2 different times, Marston Park. We added playground equipment in 2015, and then also I think in 24 with the ARPA funds. And roughly, they cost around 25 grand per item. So for the first 2015, if you look at that proposal, it was $50,000. When we added that first bunch of playground equipment. And yeah, honestly, believe me, pick me off the floor, it's expensive. But I don't think this slide is any out of, I mean, installation, yeah, was it expensive? You put boulders in there, you had to dig it out. It was a different kind of project. Then when we did it in 24 with the ARPA project, that was the total from that landscape structures was $75,000. So this is not unforeseen. I mean, do we like to spend that much money? Do we have the money? We do. Is it an improvement to the park? It is. Is it expensive? Yes. That's my contribution to that. Yes.
I'd like to add to that. The time we had a meeting here, there was, I want to say 30 or 40 people here the night we voted on putting $53,000 of our first bunch of playground equipment, Marston Park. And my first thought was, whoa, $53,000. Now it's got a 20-year, I believe, warranty on weather. It's well built and it's safety evaluated. I thought, man, there's no way we're going to spend $53,000 on playground equipment. Not one person at that meeting that night, before we had discussion, disapproved of spending that money. Every time I drive by that park, the improvements we've made, from the pickleball to the walking path to the second edition of playground equipment, it just makes my heart smile when I see people. There's always a car there, somebody walking along the track, or somebody playing on the playground with little kids. It's a lot of money. I'm not going to disagree. Are there questions and putting stuff in, installing it? Yes. But that was that was a surprise to me that no one disagreed. It passed that night, and like I say, it's been a smile on my face every time I drive by. That's it.
Who wants to go next?
I can go. So I want to reiterate what Jason said about the 4th of July. I think the chamber did a great job organizing the parade and all the food trucks and everything else associated with that. But a shout out to Ron and Maureen who run that parade lineup field.
Very much.
Did a great job. Yeah, and several of us up here hustling around that week before the 4th of July, trying to make downtown look the best it can. And I love to see all the neighbors out. Everybody's out the week of the 4th of July. It's like everybody's having their own party at their house, even if they're not, because there's so many people coming to town. So it really does take the whole community to work together to just have the all ship shape and turn out a great event. And I think people really love it. We had a float. My family had a float in the parade this year, and it was fun to see all the people out there who come for the parade and how fun it is. So, and then I will speak to projects and how projects work here at the township. So I would say the vast majority of the projects are thought of or brought up at our budget hearing or our budget meeting, our budget workshop that we have in May or June. And that's where a project is budgeted. So Renee brought up the Hardwick Park Playground project. So we actually have $70,000 budgeted for that project, and we're at 27 or 30 at this point. The slide is done, and it's beautiful. It turned out great. It's roped off right now because we're letting the grass grow, but I would say in about another week it'll be open for use. But yeah, Scott's all done, and I'm super happy with how the slide turned out. It looks great. So yeah, it's not a one-woman show. Sometimes I wish it was, but it's not. It's a team effort. We all talk about it, and it comes in piece by piece and gets approved by piece, and it's just how the process works.
Rick? Yeah. I don't know how to say this. I felt that I was very, very honored to have my brother and I as the Grand Marshals in the parade. There's a reason. We were raised in Hadley. All of our life we lived in Hadley. We love Hadley. That's why we're here. That's why I'm sitting here, because I love Hadley, and I try to do the best I can to make Hadley better in Hadley Township. We had so many memories of here, and I'm getting tongue-tied here and getting a little choked up thinking about how wonderful Hadley is to my brother and I. We both love him. We thank you very much. That's all I have.
We're glad to have you here. I've known Rick and Ellen since I can remember, and it's a blessing to have them here. Like you said, they love this township. One of the reasons I'm sitting on this board is because I love this township. People come here and they think they found it, but it kind of goes back generations in my family and many, many, many others, and we're glad to share it. And it is a special place. We're right in between two main hubs, but yet they're still finding us. We love it here. Those that live here love it here. It's just a special place. That's it. I haven't got anything else.
I talked you into running for that position.
Like, I'm touch on several things just real quick. I don't want to dwell a long time on the park project, but it's so much more than just a slide. I mean, it's a playground project, and the scope was actually pretty big. And I don't know if anybody's been over there to check it out yet. So hooligans have already been down the slide. But it includes, I would say, probably more than 100 boulders, most of which we can't pick up. It's like regular people, and it's a whole boulder climbing wall that goes up the hill, and of course the slide itself and some stairs. And then the project, the installation, involved concrete drainage, and tie into a drain that's there. And there's a significant amount of excavation and fill, and then remediation of the lowlands there, because it's you have to cross the swamp essentially to get to where that's at, because it's on the opposite side of the river. And then the township doesn't own the property that gets us to the other side of the river, and then they drive across the neighbor's property. And some of that money is also is remediation to fix, what we ruined at the neighbor's property, so we can leave it at least as good as we found it. So, and when you look at the entire scope of that, it's really not that much money, especially when you compare it to other projects that are similar. And I think parks are very important. And I've also grown up here, and I never would have predicted that our parks get used even a tenth as much as they do. It's, brings a big benefit to the community. So let's see, I'm going to go through some of the comments people have made. I am definitely working at changing some ordinances, zoning ordinance here. And they involve lots of things. We started with chickens, but horses, parks, parking lots, screening, especially screening that's made out of 5 feet concrete walls. And then also, I got about 20 different ordinances I would like to change if I'm able to, to make that happen. And then I also want to make it so that we can help keep your parents out of a nursing home and stop farmers from having to subdivide their own land. So definitely a lot of ordinance changing going on. And it all started with chickens. I got real passionate about chickens. Elwin, the maintenance report for the buildings, I think is a fantastic idea. And I will talk to the others up here and see if we can add that to the agenda if they think it's a good idea, because I also think that's a great idea. Thank you for that. And trail to the park, this is a big dream I have, is someday, and I think even when they redid Herd Road, I don't know, 25 years ago, they put a wide shoulder on that road all the way to the park so you could ride your bicycle on it more safely than not having a shoulder. And I really would like to put in a walking path that is separate from the road, that stretches all the way from Marston Park to Herd Road. That's some big dream I have. It's not attainable all at one time or right now. I decided to cut it up into smaller bits because it's easier to eat an elephant one piece at a time. And what I would like to start with is making, coming off the end of the trail we have now at Marston Park, and then just going from there to the township offices. I think that's a great first start. And that way, if you want to come vote, for instance, you can walk here or take your wheelchair or ride your bicycle. Because right now, you can only get here by driving because the road is super unsafe. And I think that's attainable. However, we have a limited amount of funds to spend. And back to our budget meeting we had this year, we talked about that project and we decided to table it for at least one more year, because we have a big improvement project we're going to do, hopefully, downtown this year. And that is capital intensive, and we didn't think we had money for both. So that's where we're at there. Thank you for all the data about the senior millage, and not so much being pro-millage, but just the factual data that we shared. And then also I think it's important to share with people, because people have a lot of concerns when they read that information about the money being captured by DDAs. And so to share the fact that when that happens, that's not affecting you, it's only the property owners that live within the footprint of the DDA that will have to pay for that. And as far as zoning and data center stuff, we're working at a bunch of data center stuff right now. Because essentially the township had no rules, and the concern is that data centers kind of come and it'd be very difficult to regulate them. So we want to make some regulations. One power the township doesn't have is to ban any lawful use, with very few exceptions. So if you want to say, hey, look, we don't want to allow data centers, for instance, we don't have that authority. We can't do it. And if we did, it would just, and then the data center wanted to build here, it would just tie us up in court, and then we would spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of our taxpayer dollars on lawyers, and we would lose because we're on the wrong side. And we have taken advice from our attorneys and from the MTA and from the professional planner on the best way to proceed, so that we can protect people who live here from the ramifications of having a use like that, and also to treat private property owners with the respect that they deserve. Because if you own a piece of property, even if you're a business, you have rights to use that property in lawful ways. And other citizens in the community don't get a right to tell you what you can do on your property. So, you know, the township together collectively can, you know, create some rules, but just wanted to share my thoughts on that. Also, I think there's an extremely low likelihood a data center would come here. First of all, I think the data center building is mostly over. I don't think a lot of these projects are starting, they run out of capital, I believe. And also, Hadley's an unattractive place because we just don't have the power. And that's all I have. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Support. Motion by Hartwig, second by Brandt. To adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.
Susan. Susan.
Yes.